You're listening to Galaxy of Film.
Alright guys, welcome back to the brand new episode of Galaxy of Film. I'm of course your host Max, joined by none other than my co-host Dakari. How's it going, man?
Pretty good so far. We are in the 20th day of 2026 and things are going. Things could be a lot worse right now, but hey, they're going. How about you?
Pretty much the same, dude. Pretty much the same. I want to go ahead and recap our listeners to everything that's gone on the last 30 days, because you and I were just talking about it off air. Holy shit, 2026 is off to a start, that's for sure. First of all, to our audience, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026. Thank you for sticking around for more Galaxy of Film. It's always a pleasure being able to, not only bring you guys into the new year, but to continue this show and this brand, because our anniversary is like at the end of the year, December 22nd. So officially 5 years deep into Galaxy of Film. Thank you guys so much for sticking around through everything we've been through and all of our different, phases that we've gone through in this podcast, and just different, endeavors of our careers in general. And I also want to go and apologize to our audience members for the inconsistency we've had with episodes the last few weeks. As I was mentioning during our last episode last month, talking about Wicked and The Wiz, was getting ready to head back to North Carolina after that episode a couple days later for Christmas break. Dude, everything just hit the fucking fan is what it felt like. Get back to North Carolina after driving for 3 days straight, which was brutal as hell. Immediately got norovirus as soon as I saw Marty Supreme. I was out for 10 days, so that sucked. Had to hit the road to come back. Obviously I wasn't recording during the time period of having norovirus, because I was not going to make you guys listen to me sounding just like I was fucking dying. I sounded like SpongeBob when he had the suds, dude. Remember that episode? It's good shit. But
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's how I felt, dude. And so I had to come the way back home to Idaho, or the temporary home of Idaho. Car troubles nonstop. Was unable to record from the hotel room, unfortunately. As soon as we get here, I had to go to the hospital. Had some serious back issues. I'm out. I'm walking now. All Gucci, I guess, man. It's just been brutal, guys. My deepest apologies. I had no intentions on strip. Honestly, I fumbled the bag completely. We didn't do our Christmas special. We haven't done our top 10 of 2025 just yet. It's usually how we kick off the new year. I promise you guys, we will still have that episode. It'll be this next month in February. There's a couple things we need to discuss before we get to that top 10 episode. So I just promise it is coming in due time. My deepest apologies for dropping the ball, for being inconsistent. I promise you, it was not for a lack of trying. This has just been a brutal time, and I need to take a step away from the podcast for a bit. But we are back. We're coming in swinging this week, dude. We're picking up where we left off with discussing some more, hits from the end of the season from last year. And what kind of came out of nowhere is what we're talking about this week. And that is, of course, a little cut of a film called Kill Bill, and that's The Whole Bloody Affair, something that's been rumored for, 20 years at this point of its existence?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's been about 20 years.
And
it's been about
finally had not only a release where it got to, be watched by an audience member, but a full-blown, theatrical scale worldwide, or at least nationwide. Yeah. There was a big Fortnite collab. We'll talk a little bit about that as well too, because that's the thing that exists. But overall, I'm excited to be back. I'm excited for this topic. It's also the first time on the podcast we've dedicated an episode discussing my favorite director of all time, Mr. Quentin Tarantino. I know for a long time.
I didn't realize he was your favorite director.
Oh, of all time, dude. I love Tarantino to death.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For a long time on this podcast, I had this whole thing planned out where as soon as we finished the Star Wars movies, which we're still trekking through, we were going to do this whole versus thing, because Danilo hated Tarantino. I was against Scorsese for a while, even though I do love Scorsese. and we were going to do like a director's versus thing. So we never done any Tarantino stuff, with the exception of From Dusk Till Dawn, because I had planned that little mini series for us. But this cut right here is too big to not talk about its own, to not talk about a little bit closer towards its release. Eventually, whenever we do talk about Tarantino, the rest of his filmography, maybe we'll dive into the Kill Bills again, kind of dissecting them individually a bit further. You know, we'll kind of have to revisit that and see what's up. But this episode, we are discussing Kill Bill as one film in its entirety, like it was shot and meant to be originally as well. So yeah, if you haven't seen the whole bloody affair, I highly recommend you go ahead and do that. I know it's coming back to certain theaters within the next few weeks. It's coming here locally this weekend, which is kind of odd. But I think it's also getting a physical media release at some point. So really excited for that to come out. This whole scenario reminds me a lot of the Rocky v. Drago cut of Rocky 4 that came out a few years ago, that we also talked about on LFG, I think, way back when. So, yeah, before we dive into Kill Bill this week, got a couple announcements, a couple things for news and other media to go into this week. But for as far as in-house announcements go, we did go ahead and drop a sneak preview of my next film, and it's a film that you produced, Dakari, along with Naima, and that is, of course, Would You Like Fries for that, or with that. That sneak preview can be found via a link down below. Of course, we are still doing our crowdfunding for this film to go ahead and support this, and also our first feature film, Obscene, Indecent, and Profane. But yeah, dude, I'm so pumped to have released, I believe it was a full 2 minutes or so of footage of Fries to the public. Great reception so far. Everyone seems excited for it. I've had a chance to touch base with cast and crew. They're all fucking thrilled, especially Nigel. I had a chance to link up with Nigel before I came back to Idaho while he was in town and for the Christmas season as well. And he was just so damn excited to see the rough cut that we have already behind the scenes going on. And to promote that sneak preview. So check it out, guys. Really, really proud of how that turned out. And the film will be coming soon. As far as that's all I can really tell you guys. But speaking of films that are coming soon, you don't have a release date locked in just yet, but Dakari, your third film is about to drop very, very soon, For the Love of Film. Can you tell our listeners about this piece?
Okay. Well, a third directorial short film. I titled it For the Love of Film, and it's to not give too much away. It's pretty much about these film lovers,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them's going through a really bad breakup, the aftermath of it, and his friend's just like, "Hey, you need to come out see this movie. Get up out of bed. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna want to talk about it on our podcast, right?" And he's convinced, and he goes out. He has a good time, and there's a podcast that they both watch and listen to, and that podcast actually reaches out to them
Mm-hmm.
because of what they've been doing on their own, and they basically want to guest star in an episode with them to talk about the film,
Mm-hmm.
and things go where they go after that.
Hell yeah, dude. It's my favorite piece that you've directed so far. Obviously, there'll be
Oh,
plenty
really?
more to come, but I do love For the Love of Film a lot, dude. There's
Wow.
you got one specific shot in there, and you sit with it. It's just fucking gorgeous. I love it. Can't wait for our audience to go ahead and see that. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away. It's a great piece. You guys just got to watch it. And I feel like if you are one of our day one listeners of this podcast, or if you're someone who has tuned in kind of sporadically over the years and have a chance to witness us grow, both as podcasters, but also as film consumers and critics, I think
Hmm.
you'll really appreciate this film specifically. It's a great piece, dude. Very proud of you. So
Thank you.
hell yeah. And last bit for our announcements, we will have some information coming very soon in the next few weeks about some events going on that we, Galaxy of Film, host. These events will be taking place in North Carolina this summer. Of course, that is involving a little thing called Showcase Number 3. We'll have more info soon on that. But we have some other screenings going on locally too in North Carolina that I can't wait to talk about and to reveal. I'm hoping to finish up and get a lineup for one thing done very soon, so we can have a little trailer presentation for it. We just got some good shit going on. Whether you're a listener from across the water, or you're across the way, wherever the fuck, and having to tune into our stuff remotely, or if you're someone who just wants to support local art and you have a chance to know us in person, I think you guys will really enjoy what we have up our sleeve this year for sure. A lot of great stuff. But speaking of great stuff, we got some cool and interesting news this week. This was revealed a few weeks ago. We have some casting announcements for the Batman Part 2. Now, we've talked a little bit about this previously, of like Scarlett Johansson kind of coming on board silently. What's her role? I know Brandon's theorizing it's a Mask of Phantasm remake. I, however, don't. And I feel this way even more based off of this casting that we have announced, which is all but confirmed. It's all very credible leaks. We have Sebastian Stan joining the cast of the Batman Part 2. And everyone's kind of theorizing who the hell he could be. It's got to be Harvey Dent, dude. It's going to be Two-Face. I'm very confident.
It would make sense.
I'm very confident that the Batman Part 2, as much as the Batman Part 1 was influenced by the Long Halloween storyline, I think Part 2 will be almost beat for beat the rest of that storyline, with the exception of like Calendar Man, and with it being like a year-long story going through every month of the year for each issue.
Right.
So I'm really, really excited for this. I did not watch this movie Sebastian Stan was acted in last year or the year before, where he played Donald Trump, but it makes me wonder if that performance as Trump in that film led to his casting in this. So really, really curious to see how this is all going to turn out. I'm glad that Sebastian Stan is stepping out of the role of Bucky even further. I mean, we'll see what this means for the character of Bucky going forward in the MCU. Obviously, we have Doomsday. There's so many theories, so many possible outcomes we could even have with that film and that character. So who knows? I don't know if this Harvey Dent of this Two-Face is a long-term thing. You know, that's something we don't really know what's going on in this Matt Reeves universe, is how long we going to have these characters for. Because obviously we do have the overarching like DCU, which is going to have its own independent Batman and cast of characters. So yeah, I don't know. I'm regardless of all these unanswered questions, I'm very excited to see Sebastian Stan play Harvey Dent. How are you feeling about this, Dakari?
I'm feeling pretty good about it, honestly. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
I like how Sebastian Stan is, you know, stepping outside of what he's normally known to being, as in the Winter Soldier Bucky. It's
Mm-hmm.
really cool. It's a really cool thing to see. But I also feel like he should have been casted as young Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian. That's me. That's just
Oh
me.
yeah.
I feel like I feel like he would have served that role just fine. I don't think they needed a body double to CGI Mark Hamill's face. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nah. I feel like Sebastian Stan would have been perfect for that. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm even though it's taken them 1,500 years to make this damn sequel, I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to seeing what other characters are in it, as far as like besides Harvey Dent. I'm excited for sure.
Very much too. And I think either Scarlett Johansson's either going to play Harvey Dent's wife, Gilda, or would be really interesting to see her play Sarah, who is the other detective or cop that's with Commissioner Gordon. And Commissioner
Right.
Gordon ultimately has an affair with while his wife is pregnant. So I think to
Yeah,
see
that would be interesting.
it would be interesting because like one of my favorite cast members in the Batman, and he's been growing as one of my favorite actors in general over the last several years, is Jeffrey Wright. And I feel like when you're talking
Yeah,
about
Jeffrey Wright.
when you're comparing these characters to the other film entries, like Michael Caine is kind of like the Alfred, right? You know what I'm saying? Like he's kind of irreplaceable, even though we'll get other Alfreds in the future. He's kind of the standard. And Gary Oldman had really set the standard for Commissioner Gordon, and I didn't think Jeffrey Wright could knock that out of the park, at least with one entry. But like Jeffrey Wright, dude, within the Batman Part 1, really does give Oldman a run for his money. You know what I'm saying? Like he
I
gives
agree.
one of the best performances of that character.
Agree.
So I'd love to see us kind of dive into more of him if we do go the route of ScarJo as Sarah and being the other woman in that marriage. But I don't know. We'll see. Like you said, it's taken a bajillion years to make this sequel. And James Gunn also recently said that he's not revealing anything about the DCU's Batman, the Brave and the Bold, until the sequel's out. Which
That's good.
honestly,
That's
good.
really good.
I'm here for it. Thank
That's
you for
really
not overshadowing this side thing, this side universe. But yeah, man.
It's
Well,
a
no.
really
Yeah. we'll be here to talk about when the movie comes out. Obviously, we're all excited for. We all can't wait. But things that a lot of people couldn't wait for, and I'm just kind of taking a step back with this, honestly. Excuse me. We do have confirmation officially. Kathleen Kennedy has stepped down from Lucasfilm leadership to return to producing. Dave Filoni is now the head of Lucasfilm, with chief creative officer kind of being the co-president, Lin-Wen Brennan. I don't know who the hell that lady is. Congratulations to her. I'm trusting her. If she's co-president with Filoni, it must mean she has some trust and faith in her. So you got my faith all the way. But what's really interesting, and I think Danilo and I talked about this a couple weeks ago when he called me one night. It's like the reaction to Kathleen Kennedy in the last several months. And I think a lot of the mixed feelings about this whole news of her stepping down from the Lucasfilm position comes from the reveal of Adam Driver pitching that Hunt for Ben Solo film that we've been hearing about for several weeks now, and how Kathleen Kennedy and even Adam Driver both said, like, no, this was like, we wanted to do this. This was a Disney Bob Iger decision. Like, this was stopped by the head honchos, but Lucasfilm wanted to proceed with this. And then after, as Kennedy is on her way out, she's making a comment, kind of giving an update on the status of all these projects that have been prematurely announced to hell. Like, we're still waiting on like 4 movies that were announced in 2019 that haven't even locked in a script yet, which is crazy.
And then they completely did away with Ryan Johnson's trilogy.
Yeah. So I don't know, dude. My feelings towards this situation, am I sad to see Kathleen Kennedy go? Yes. And I say that because I don't feel like a lot of the problems that Lucasfilm, that Star Wars has had, are her fault, like we've been kind of led to believe the last decade or so. When shit has hit the fan in every one of these movies, the first person to blame has always been Kathleen Kennedy. We have seen her name get drugged through the fucking mud. Even on this podcast, for Christ's sakes, we've all expressed our frustration. But, knowing more and more that, all right, it's people that are above her that are kind of putting a stop to what we as fans want. That blows, dude. It blows. And it makes me wonder, all the things that she didn't turn down or she was trying to push that we didn't hear about. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm excited to see what she has up her sleeve in terms of returning back to the role of producing for films going forward. Because there's one thing that you can't deny is her track record, dude. I mean,
absolutely.
It's nuts. Truly, it's fucking nuts, dude.
Fucking E.T.
Jurassic Park, Back to the Future.
Jurassic Park, Back to the Future. I mean, you can't deny what she's done. There's no denying what she's done. You could speculate on how much she had to do with the sequel trilogy and some of the shows creatively, but come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
I agree, dude. I agree. I don't know. I do think highly of Kathleen Kennedy, dude. I do. And obviously,
yeah, for the most part, I do.
For our listeners, if you're not aware of our filming situations and how we work at Galaxy of Film, I work very close and very often with one of my best friends, Naima Saeed, who is my go-to producer for my films. You know what I'm saying? And I always try to not only encourage her to do better, to be better as we're working together, but I try to set her in my mind. I put Naima in training as leading up to a Kathleen Kennedy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see what's going to go forward with Star Wars. I really just hope that whenever we do, because like I said, these are Bob Iger issues and no's we're getting from the head honcho. I think whenever we get our next one will be the tell-all, how we'll see the fans' reaction and how they'll blame Filoni for something going wrong. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Only time will tell with these, honestly. But Kathleen Kennedy, you did some great stuff at Lucasfilm during your time here. Thank you for your service. I don't know how else to rephrase that. But yeah, we'll see what's going on with Star Wars and Lucasfilm.
Man. Yeah, we will.
And other media I want to go ahead and go over this week. Been catching up on some comics, of course. We didn't get to talk about this last month. I'm not going to talk about the current stuff just yet because, Dakari, I know you're behind. Absolute Batman has been just fucking trucking. Issue 15 that dropped last month is a Joker origin story. It's kind of this one-off issue that just explains his origin, separate from our main theme and overarching story going on currently in Absolute Batman. Now that we're transitioning away from the Bane arc, moving forward to what's next in the future. Just an insane issue, and such a creative twist on the character. If you guys have a chance, you're comic fans, make sure to get your hands on both Absolute Batman issue 15 and the Arc M special. They go directly hand in hand together, and are both great independent reads on their own. But I promise you guys, you will have a jaw-dropping moment if you read them both together. So, Absolute Batman, keep on trucking. You're doing fucking incredible. And the only other media I have to talk about this week is a video game. I've been playing the hell out of Switch 2 for the last month or so, dude. I've talked about this before. Mario Kart World's great. Been loving the hell out of that. But recently, Caitlin just got me Tears of the Kingdom, of course, The Legend of Zelda. I missed this sequel when it came out in 2023, dude. I wasn't here for Nintendo upping the price on a new release at the time for Switch, especially when I was so disappointed in that console. I'm fucking loving this game. I cannot put it down. Tears of the Kingdom is a blast. It is an incredible sequel so far and runs great on Switch 2. Very, very glad I waited for the Switch 2 release, to be honest with you. I feel like this game should have came out on this system as a launch title. That's a whole other story to go ahead and dive into, my thoughts on Nintendo as a business. But regardless, the game is incredible. Loving it so far. And my only other last piece of media is more Simpsons. Haven't watched this week's episode just yet. We're always a day behind, unfortunately. But this season's just been, I've said it 100 times, dude. It's been not only incredible, but we're having big canon moments of The Simpsons that affects things. Last episode, we said goodbye to Duffman, which is crazy. He's been with this series for well over 30 years. He's gone. We were brought back Bumblebee Man, which is cool, because instead of it being a situation like with Apu, where we're no longer going to have just white guys voice different ethnicities for these characters, instead of just scrapping the character at that point, we now brought in the Spanish voice actor of Homer to play this character, to bring him back, which is really, really cool. So I don't know, if Bumblebee Man can come back, dude, I want Apu to come back. Love The Simpsons, love everything they're doing this season. Every episode's been great so far, so check it out if you can. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for our news and other media for this week. We're going to go ahead and take a quick little break and go over our stream of the week, brought to you by none other than Naima. We're also going to go over our rating system in case you guys are new to the show. Whenever we come back, we're going to go ahead and dive right into Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. So we'll be right back.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hey there, everybody. It's Naima Saeed here with the stream of the week. So this past weekend was my birthday, January 17th, and we had a full day of events. But of course, I had to end the night going to the movies because baby boy Justin Long is starring in Night Patrol, and it just showed. And let me tell you something. Baby boy knows how to pick what movies he wants to be in because they are always entertaining. And Night Patrol was exactly that. I kind of had a little bit of an idea going in, but you know what? It exceeded my expectations. That is all I'm going to say, and I would 100% go back and watch it again.
Our rating system is inspired by the planets from the Star Wars films. From highest to lowest, this is how we do our rankings. Number 5.
Coruscant. The entire planet is one big city.
Number 4.
Bespin. We're pretty far, but I think we can make it.
Number 3.
Hold me like you did by the lake on Naboo.
Number 2.
Set your course for the Hoth system.
And lastly, number 1.
Back to Why does everyone want to go back to Jakku?
Alright guys, we're back. Time to dive into the 4th film by Quentin Tarantino. And for our listeners, if you're not aware of what The Whole Bloody Affair is, or the significance of this cut specifically, Kill Bill is one movie. I know you guys who are new to this might be a little confused. What's Kill Bill 1 and 2? It's one movie, guys. He had to cut these in half because it was too damn long to release at that point in time. Thankfully, with films like the Batman, as we were talking about earlier, and Oppenheimer, and even Endgame, like these movies have kept pushing, the boundaries of a runtime for 3 hours, 3.5, kind of normalizing that.
Right.
So this kind of came out at the perfect time because the runtime's at like 4 hours and 30 minutes with an intermission, I think, or like right around like 4 and some change with the intermission, dude. It's nuts.
It's 4 and some change.
Yeah. But goddamn, this didn't even feel like 4 hours to me, dude. Like this blew through.
Hell no. This is like the fastest 4 hours I've ever experienced in a movie. Like this shit was perfect.
I fully agree.
This shit was perfect.
And if you aren't familiar of what the story of Kill Bill is, we have our main character played by none other than Uma Thurman, who remains nameless throughout most of this film until like the very end. They kind of do drop her name, but still, she's often referred to as just the bride going forward. And the bride has a history of being a part as the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad. Jesus. It's the big day of her wedding, and then all of a sudden her past kind of catches up with her, and she's shot at her wedding and put into a coma for several years at this point. I believe it's 4 years. And she wakes up from this coma, and she's on a quest for revenge against people that did her wrong, her former friends, this former squad of hers. And she finds out that the hit put against her was put out by none other than the leader of the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad, Bill, and the person who trained her. So throughout the entirety of this movie, we're going through this massive like checklist of revenge, and we're going one by one to knock out all the members of the assassination squad who did wrong to the bride. And through this, we're seeing her, go through several different trainings. We get the one and only Sonny Chiba playing Hattori Hanzo, the guy who makes the finest steel in all of Japan. And I do have to show off to our listeners, too, this gorgeous steelbook of the Blu-ray that Sonny Chiba signed several years ago for me before he passed. Rest in peace to an absolute legend. But yeah, he's this...
You need to watch Street Fighter.
I know. We were just talking about that. But, yeah, we have Sonny Chiba here. He's training her in the art of swordsmanship, of the art of samurai, and throughout her having to go ahead and accomplish this revenge list, we also see her pursue some other training as well in hand-to-hand combat. I forgot. I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name, dude. Jesus Christ. He's famous from being in several other films. Pad something? Don't make me feel like an asshole here. Fill me out, Kari. Come on. Pad, who the hell is he?
You talking about the white brow priest?
Yeah, sure.
Pai Mei.
Pai Mei. Thank you. Jeez, I said Pad Thai, dude. That's gonna get me fucking canceled. Anyways, we see more training that she goes into through over there as well, which is pretty awesome. With her hand-to-hand combat, seeing her really struggle, almost in like this kind of Karate Kid kind of build up through her training there, just to come back to the States and to proceed with her hit list. Once you're sitting with the films in a volume 1 and a volume 2 format, the film is of course split in half after we get to the Battle of Orenishi, Cottonmouth, and we get this cool, I believe it's like from Seven Samurai. We see it all the time in Star Wars, the framing of the two samurai lined up and battling in the snow. Yeah. And it's just this beautiful sequence.
That's a Japanese cinema thing, period, but it was made like, it was most notable from Kurosawa when he did movies like Seven Samurai and Hidden Fortress and all that.
Exactly.
I mean, Kurosawa was my favorite director. So
okay. I didn't realize that about you. All right. And
Kurosawa's my favorite.
Yeah, so at that point that splits off volume 1. Volume 2 picks up with basically her in the States the entire time, other than having to do her hand-to-hand combat. Ultimately, once we go ahead and knock off everyone off this list, we do get to Bill. He's kind of like in Mexico in this big like fortress kind of thing. Not a fortress, but like this big villa that he kind of has under control, this big compound. once the bride kind of infiltrates the area and gets ready to knock out Bill, we get the reveal that her daughter was saved. She's pregnant during the whole sequence of her wedding, and she gets shot and put in the coma. She wakes up and she's no longer pregnant. She's assuming her daughter is killed, and that's what kind of drives this quest for revenge. But she's not dead. And matter of fact, we get this beautiful reunion where her daughter B doesn't like understand why her mother left her. Is what she thinks, that she just kind of was going to come back one day, is what Bill kept telling her. And so we get this really like beautiful and seamless like reunion between the two of them, where you're just left wondering like, oh my god, like where is this going to go next? And like the title suggests, of course, she does end up killing Bill, and we get a great finale where the bride doesn't necessarily get to have her moment where she's driving off into the sunset per se. She doesn't get her picture perfect happy ending, but she's taken the broken pieces of that image of a happy life and a happy ending, and she's able to re-piece them together to find her own peace and to live this life with the daughter that she thought she once lost. And it's just beautiful because that's the final shot of the film, is we're seeing this cold killer, like this woman who's we just seen who's chopping off fucking limbs at the bar in Japan, get this moment where she just gets to be a mom, and it's absolutely beautiful. Kill Bill was also my first R-rated movie as a kid. I know that might date me to be a little young for everyone. Kill Bill came out 2004, but like, you know, I'm 26.
I feel you on that.
And
I feel you on that.
I caught a TV cut of this at like 7 years old. And my mom's like, you're not watching a fucking Tarantino movie as your first R-rated film. My dad, who was a big Tarantino fan, is like, no, he's gonna watch this. There's 45 minutes left. You can watch Kill Bill. And that whole snow sequence, that fight, dude, just left a burning image in my mind of what it meant to even have that on a film. So Kill Bill, it means a lot to me. It's not my favorite Tarantino movie by any means, but it's one I hold very near and dear to my heart, and one that I credit to be like the opening for me to not only appreciate other Tarantino gore, because I feel like Kill Bill kind of displays it the best, but just gore in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a huge horror fan, but Kill Bill is the movie that made me appreciate blood effects and the art of losing limbs, if you will, on camera. So there's just a lot to appreciate of this movie, a lot of nostalgia with it. I last year, well, I guess 2 years ago now, in end of 2024, I went to a screening at the Cary Theater in North Carolina by the Shaolin Jazz Fest, and they also work with the Three Chambers Film Festival, and they did a live scoring, like a DJ scoring of Kill Bill. It was only Volume 1, though. And while I was watching that, I was like, this is the coolest fucking way to watch this movie, dude. It cannot get better. And it officially had with the whole bloody affair. Like you mentioned, 4 hours, you don't feel one bit. I was almost bummed that there was an intermission. Like, I appreciate it because I had to go piss and I wanted to refill on popcorn, you know, but like, it doesn't need an intermission by any means, you know?
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
So, yeah, Dakari, let me hear a little bit of your history with Kill Bill. Aside from the whole bloody affair, what is your history of this piece?
Yeah. So I kind of have a similar history with as yours. This was probably my first R-rated movie too. Now that I think about it.
Okay.
I was probably like maybe 4 or 5 years old when I first saw Kill Bill on TV.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay, it just came on TV one day, and you know, my mom just let it play, and I was just like, Mom, what is this? She's like, shh, just watch it, just watch it. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, oh shit, this movie's fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't like, you know, I was really young back then, so I didn't really watch Volume 2 as much as I've watched Volume 1. But Volume 1 was the coolest shit ever. You know what I'm saying? So when I got older and I started rewatching Kill Bill, I was just like, oh my god, this movie is not for kids at all.
Oh,
like
no.
like watching the uncensored, uncut versions, how they were originally released. I was like, oh yeah, these movies. I'm glad I watched the TV versions because these movies are bad. Like,
They
these
are, dude.
movies are bad. Like the subject matter is absolutely nuts. Like I didn't realize that Bill and the bride were lovers when they were working together in the assassination squad until I was maybe like in the fifth grade. I was just like, oh my god, they were lovers. They were together. And he basically forced her into this shit. She probably didn't even want that child.
Nah,
You know what I'm
dude.
saying?
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, it's like, oh, it's fucked up. It's fucked up, you know? So damn, and that made me even appreciate the movie even more because that was around the time Django came out, and I couldn't really watch Django, but I could watch Kill Bill. It's just like, okay, ma, what are you doing? I can't watch Django, but I could watch Kill Bill. That makes no sense, right? You know what I'm saying? It's from
Yeah.
the same filmmaker. Why can't I watch Django? It's about us. I can't watch it. Okay, whatever. But yeah, no, like I just appreciated Kill Bill even more. And I even and the older I got, the more I watched part two. I watched volume two more often because it made me appreciate the story than just the action. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
was really cool. It was really cool seeing Pai Mei too. As a Shaw Brothers fan at that age, it was really cool seeing Pai Mei, which is played by Gordon Liu, who is the guy who played Santa in 36 Chamber of Shaolin. You know, like it's just all these connections to Asian cinema in this film is what really made me appreciate Kill Bill more and more and more as I got older. You know, because I didn't know none of this shit at like what 4 or 5 years old
Yeah.
till I started getting into other movies and started respecting movies as an art form. When the more I started rewatching Kill Bill, the more I had respect for it and the more I loved it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I didn't even like the second part as much as I did now for the longest time. And it's just like, you know, I think before the whole Bloody Affair came out, I would say both Kill Bill 1 and 2 are masterpieces. Both films are Coruscant's 5 out of 5. But it's just like, okay, now this whole Bloody Affair shit is out. I'm like, okay, I keep hearing about this shit. All right? I kept hearing about it, and I'm wondering if it's going to get official release, and I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm ever going to see this. And then next thing you know, this past year, we get trailers and promotions and just posters of the whole Bloody Affair in 35 millimeter and 70 millimeter. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna go see that. I'm gonna go see that. I wanted my mom to come with me, but you know she was on a trip. You know she couldn't really make it, so I went by myself. Fuck it, you know. And I'm glad I did because this is by far the most premier and definitive way to watch Kill Bill. I mean, like I don't think I can even watch Kill Bill any other way
See,
after
I
seeing the whole
agree.
Bloody Affair.
I
You know what I'm
agree,
saying?
dude.
Like you watch the whole Bloody Affair, like you can tell this was meant to be released as one movie, the way it's written and structured and formatted, even with some of the extended scenes and longer takes and you know, the extended Oren animation sequence and the House of Blue Leaves scene being in color. I mean, it's just a whole lot more to this specific version other than it just being both movies combined together. You know? It is meant to be seen as one movie because even before the intermission, we're just at the scene where she has Sophie Fatale in the trunk, and we actually see the bride cut off Sophie Fatale's arm in this cut. And I'm just like, oh shit! Okay, this is different. This is not the same Kill Bill. Okay, wow, awesome. And then we get the intermission. So like, oh, okay. So we find out who her daughter is. We find out that her daughter is still alive the same time she finds out. Okay, that makes sense now. That makes sense now. Like this, like watching this cut was like a revelation. Everything just made so much more sense,
I
and
agree.
everything just flowed so much more seamlessly and smoothly. Like this is the best 4 hours, the fastest 4 hours ever, the best 4 hour movie I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? And and from this point on, this is the only way I will ever watch Kill Bill. I won't ever watch Kill Bill any other way. As soon as they put this out on Blu-ray, I'm buying it, and I'll keep my DVDs. I'll keep my Volume One and Volume Two because why not? You know they might be expensive.
Nostalgic,
They
dude.
might be
Yeah,
more
dude.
expensive.
You
You know
know
what I'm
the
saying?
all
Yeah,
yellow and all red DVD cases are
yeah.
classic. You know, like I haven't upgraded. I know they did an individual Volume 1, Volume 2 4K release last year.
Hmm.
because they did Jackie Brown, and they did Pulp Fiction a year beforehand. Because you watched my Pulp Fiction with Brandon, that 4K.
Oh yeah, that 4K is amazing.
Oh, it's
That
so
4K
gorgeous.
is stunning.
It's
Yo,
yeah, that's the second best way to watch Pulp Fiction. I topped it, but I did get a chance in November to go with our buddy Joe Black from Blue Means Pregnant Films to the New Beverly Theater, which Tarantino owns. Excuse
see
me.
it in 35.
Not only did I see Pulp Fiction 35 front row, it's Tarantino's copy. He drops off his personal copies from these
Oh,
films.
you lucky motherfuckers, man.
The only other way to watch that movie any better would be to like see it in his fucking living room. You know what I'm saying? Like,
God damn.
yeah. So just some really great stuff, in general coming out in recent years of Tarantino releases. I think the only one that's frowned upon universally is that Inglourious Basterds 4K because it's just an upscale with AI. It's a studio bullshit. Same thing with the Goodfellas release where you see the grains mismatching and everything. It's just fucky.
The only Tarantino movie I have not watched is Inglourious Bastards. I need to watch that.
Interesting. Okay, I love Inglourious Basterds. The only one I haven't seen is Death Proof still. It's the only one.
Death Proof is good. Death Proof is good. It's definitely like I would say it's on the Jackie Brown side of things. You know, it's not his best, but I mean he hasn't made a bad movie, so you can still watch it.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like Jackie Brown and Death Proof are kind of in that same camp where it's not as great as all his other ones, but still damn good and still worth a watch.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I dig Death Proof a lot.
Okay. Reeling it back into like not being able to watch the volume cuts of these anymore. I agree, dude. Like growing up, like especially in my earlier years, I've always been able to, when I'm in the mood and want to watch Tarantino or Kill Bill or Uma Thurman specifically, Volume 1 is always a green light for me. You know what I'm saying? But like Volume 2 has always been saved for like, all right, this is when I want to watch Kill Bill and not just have something on the background or just get my quick fixin' of Tarantino or Uma, you know. I felt bad about that because we've always known it's been one movie the whole time, you know what I'm saying? But like there's a difference between knowing and experiencing that. And genuinely after seeing this back to back, like in one format, not even having to like pop out a DVD and put another one in, it feels so much more connected, which is what's so great about it. Like the pacing works in Volume 2 when it's with Volume 1. You know, like Volume 1 is all action. It looks good. We're putting like the best quote unquote up for the beginning half. And then Volume 2 is like we get real heavy with the themes and the character development and the writing. And like on its own, I feel like when people critique Volume 2, they critique it as Kill Bill 2 and not as a part 2. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not this consecutive part. Yeah. So it's so nice to not only have universally this film be viewed and respected as one part, but to experience it as one. And like you mentioned, like we're getting this information as the bride is, and it feels like this snowball effect for the first time. I'm not having this massive timeout and let's recoup and let's review what we just had and then go on forward. Yeah, we even had a chance to really dive into what's new other than, you know, you mentioned the bar fight is now in color instead of black and white, which is awesome because we had to do some censorship originally for that in order to get the R rating in general. You see the arm being cut off. The animated sequence is like an additional like 10 minutes alone, dude, which is crazy for the Oren scene. Right. It's not only her her entire origin that we already got, but we get the second half of it, which is even better than the first half, and it's fucking crazy.
It almost feels like a fucking horror movie because this motherfucker takes forever to fucking die.
Yeah, dude, that elevator shaft is crazy.
The fucking elevator shaft, and then his damn body parts are just falling down each time he's trying to relocate where Oren is. It's so fucking scary.
Yeah,
like, I was creeped out. I was creeped out watching that shit, man. Like, oh,
yeah.
Man.
And it just adds and it elevates so much more to the presence that Oren has. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because when Oren is introduced. Obviously, we have her backstory. She's quirky. You know, she has this history, yada yada. And then we see her, and she's like the boss level kind of baddie, but she's kind of like, I don't want to say two-dimensional in a sense, but she just feels flatter without having a bit more time to spend with her. Like, she felt in volume 1 of Kill Bill like one of the checklist people that were going off in this hit list. And it felt very like I'm feeling a rhythm to it in that sense. Versus when I'm having the whole bloody affair, this feels like, all right, we knocked off, Vanita Green at the start of this. We got the easy one. Now we really got to go take care of the next one, the hardest one, right away. And then, makes Bud and Elle kind of feel not less than, but it makes their kind of 2-for-1 feel a bit more justified. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because they're kind of back to back, so we can focus on the death and the rise up of Bill. I don't know, man. This cut just does so much in every aspect. I love it to death, dude. Yeah. I really do.
Yeah, this cut was phenomenal. Like, it really confirmed that Kill Bill. It shut down the debate on whether or not Kill Bill should be viewed as one movie or not. It shut that shit down.
Absolutely,
in my opinion. It's meant to be one movie. It's meant to be seen as one movie. It was meant to be conceived as one movie. I mean, if you sit down and watch this shit, there's no other way you could watch it after this.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot more to appreciate, a lot more to take away from it, a lot more to respect and admire, and it's just a cavalcade of so many different things when it comes to film and pop culture, and how this is ultimately Tarantino's love letter to Asian cinema. You know what I'm saying? Like, the motherfucker brought Sonny Chiba back to play Hattori Hanzo, who was a character he played in a very popular Japanese TV show from the 80s called Shadow Warriors. Yeah, and then this motherfucker brought Gordon Liu back to play Pai Mei, who
Which
he
is
was
crazy.
actually right. Actually, the movie Executioners from Shaolin that came out in 1977 from the same director of 36 Chamber of Shaolin, that movie came out a year prior. The main villain of that movie is Pai Mei.
Oh.
But Gordon Liu plays one of the brothers, the Shaolin brothers of the main character Hong Xi Quan. So Gordon Liu is in Executioners from Shaolin, but he plays a hero, a side hero to the main character in that film. So it's really interesting to see, Tarantino kind of just maneuver the story and just, interpret it in his own way, and just give the people their flowers, especially when it comes to Asian cinema. I mean, hell, the fucking Shaw Brothers logo is at the beginning of this fucking movie.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's literally at the beginning, and then he brought Yuen Woo Ping to choreograph this movie, which he did Matrix and Kill Bill before this. But Yuen Woo Ping was like, he was doing shit way before this. Like, Yuen Woo Ping and his Yin Clan was doing a lot of shit before this. A lot of different indie projects. They were even fight choreographers on a few Shaw Brothers movies, and then after that they did their own shit with Golden Harvest and Sammo Hung and Yuen Biao and Jackie Chan. Like, one of Yuen Woo Ping's most popular movies that he directed was The Magnificent Butcher with Sammo Hung, and his directorial debut was actually the movie that made Jackie Chan a superstar in Asia, Snake in the Eagle's Shadow.
Okay.
So, exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, everything in Asian cinema is connected in some weird way, right? So, I'm glad that he was able to project that fascination into the two films, which is now one movie, and you could see how you could see how much he truly has been influenced by those films in this one particular film. He made it 4 hours, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
You know he wasn't fucking around. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll never see no shit like this ever again. So, I mean, yeah, the whole Bloody Affair made me appreciate Kill Bill not just as an IP property, but as a full-blown story. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a visual novel at the end of the day, and it's meant to be seen as such. So, that's all I gotta say.
One thing we haven't even had a chance to talk about, which is also ties into this being like a love letter to Asian culture and cinema, is the soundtrack done by none other than the RZA from Wu-Tang. Like, you get someone to direct this soundtrack who is also so ingrained in that culture and takes such heavy inspiration. It's just a beautiful blend, dude. Like, RZA's work on this film alone literally is why I had you do the soundtrack for being one of the contributors to that. I mean, like, the director of the soundtrack.
Okay.
You know, like, I had never seen, I still don't think I've seen a movie where the soundtrack is directed by someone else in this kind of way. And it just, it works flawlessly, dude. Genuinely.
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
The only thing that I don't care about Kill Bill in general, and this isn't a between cuts kind of thing, it was a broken glass moment, a shattered glass moment that Joe did for me while we were watching Pulp Fiction. And we were talking about, like, after the showing, we were talking about how much we enjoyed this showing, whatever. And I was like, damn, dude, I wish I could be here. Because I saw that, like, the day after Thanksgiving. So it was a week before the Whole Bloody Affair hit theaters, right? I was like, damn, I wish I could stay an extra week. I'd kill to see Kill Bill here. And Joe just gave me his thoughts on Kill Bill. And he brought up one thing. He brought up specifically the Superman monologue that Bill gives at the end of it. And I do think that is the weakest part of this movie, in all honesty.
Why is that the weakest part of the movie? Why?
It feels phony in a sense, dude. And because we had that talk, and then I watched the Whole Bloody Affair, and it stuck out like a sore thumb to me, genuinely. Hearing Bill of all people try to give this wholehearted monologue about Superman. I don't know. It didn't work too much for me rewatching it.
Right.
But, like, thankfully, that moment doesn't overshadow the death of Bill for me and the significance of that walk away, you know. But what's one bad monologue out of a 4.5 hour movie of full of great dialogue, in my opinion? You know, it's one flaw it has, and even so, like, it doesn't deteriorate from the overall rating for me. You know what I'm saying? But, like, that is probably the only thing that stops the Whole Bloody Affair from me from being a flat out perfect, like, Pulp Fiction level film. Yeah, let's dive into our ratings for this one, dude. Then fuck the Fortnite thing, the lost chapter. It was a deleted scene.
Fuck that bullshit. That shit don't even fucking count. Man.
It's a deleted scene that, like, blended volume 1 and 2 together in that little time period where one of Oren's girls goes after the bride. I think, and I could be wrong about this, because the other big thing we haven't talked about with Kill Bill is that, like, Tarantino and Uma had a good relationship throughout their careers up until Kill Bill.
Because Kill Bill.
And there was a whole scene, there's a stunt where Uma is driving a car, and I don't know what the whole stunt entailed, but Tarantino was like, no, I want you driving, and she unfortunately actually got into an accident that really hurt her, and out of respect, Quentin gave the only footage that was filmed, like all the physical reels, he gave her the copies that would never be released of her actually getting harmed on camera. Which is a great thing that he had the respect to give that to her. But it makes me wonder, after seeing the lost chapter, if that's what that was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we don't have footage for it. Because, like,
okay,
Kill Bill covered everything we've seen from this massive director's cut, technically, especially, is like, they've covered all their bases. You know, like, I'm not seeing, comparing the Whole Bloody Affair to the Rocky v. Drago cut. When I'm looking at the Rocky v. Drago cut and I'm seeing alternate, like, shots and angles of the Drago fight, that footage isn't taken care of, and it's very obvious as to what the new footage is back and forth. Comparing it to Whole Bloody Affair, when I'm seeing the new footage, it fits in seamlessly because it was originally supposed to be in there, and it makes me wonder if that's just the thing, that it wasn't a deleted scene, but it was the accident, and now we're actually bringing it to life via animation, so it's a bit more, you know, not only comfortable for Uma and to have this story be told, but, like, because it's the only way possible, because the only footage was that wreck, hypothetically. So I don't know, maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe there was another scene where she did wreck, or where that wreckage footage would have fit into originally. But in my own head canon, I like to think that the lost chapter is because of that accident. I was
either because of that accident or because of the fucking Fortnite shit he's doing. Because let's be real, if you watched if you stayed until the very end of Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair in theaters recently, and you see that shit, people getting shot up. It's not even blood. It's just fucking. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I don't know,
It's
dude.
not even real blood coming out. It's just fucking power cubes coming out of people when they get shot.
It's like fucking
And then
Pixel,
fucking
yeah.
and then Yuki disappears after she's shot, and it's just like, what the fuck is this? No.
Yeah, and I'm seeing like the banana guy from Fortnite. Dude, look, Fortnite already suckered me into buying the Pulp Fiction Jules skin. All right, I don't need to watch any other Tarantino Fortnite shit, dude.
Hell no, bro. The Lost Chapter does not count in this.
Fully agree. But let's dive into our ratings for The Whole Bloody Affair. Like I said, we're reviewing this as one cohesive film. Eventually, we'll talk about the volumes. I think it'll be appropriate to at that point, and maybe we can dissect those and rate those as individual films at that point. But as one consecutive thing, The Whole Bloody Affair. Dakari, what would you rate this film?
Easy Coruscant.
Yeah,
It's an automatic Coruscant for me. This extended director's cut of Kill Bill was pretty much almost everything that I expected it to be, and then some, because I wasn't expecting to see the extended scenes or the extended takes or anything like that. And then, of course, I got the elongated, extended Oren shit. Everything about it just came together. I mean, like I said, after watching this, I'm not going to watch Kill Bill any other way except for this. This is the premiere version to watch it. This is the #1 version to watch it. If you watch Kill Bill, watch it this way, okay? Like, fastest 4 hours ever. I'm telling you right now. And I have to disagree with you about the Bill monologue, because the monologue, I mean, even though it kind of comes at like a weird point in the movie, it makes sense, because he's talking about, it's literally like a reflection of the journey that she's had leading up to that point. You know what I'm saying? So in order for, her to settle into the truth serum, he had to kind of get into her head to really help her out in regards to the truth serum and, just being transparent about the whole situation. Because let's be real, they were a little bit too honest about what happened, especially in front of BB.
yeah.
Like, they were too honest. They couldn't even hide it. It's just like, how are they going to hide that shit? It like the scene where they were in the bed, and then when Bill comes in, like, Daddy shot mommy. Daddy, you shot mommy? Yeah. Daddy shot mommy. And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? They were super transparent about it. But see, think about it. It's just, how else were they going to say that?
Yeah, good point.
They couldn't hide it.
Yeah.
They couldn't hide it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that monologue kind of makes sense, because, it's all about the transparency. It's that moment where you just gotta, you gotta come down to earth and just, just be an open book about what happened, because there's two sides to every story, and even though Bill was a piece of shit for doing what he did, the bride also had her wrongs and her faults in the situation as well. So I didn't mind the monologue at all.
Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. To each their own. But yeah, for me, I'm right there with you. It's still a Coruscant for me. God, it's a fucking masterpiece, dude. I love this movie to death. Like, we walked out, and this was Caitlin's first time even watching Kill Bill. I haven't driven her. I haven't brought her through all the Tarantino movies because I've been expecting her for the podcast, And she looked over at me. She's like, "I could watch this again right now." Like, run it back.
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt after that shit ended. I'm like, yo, play this again, please.
Absolutely
I'll sit here
agree.
for another 4 fucking hours. Play this shit again.
Absolutely agree, dude. I'll never watch Kill Bill the same. Like, give me the whole bloody affair all day. Truly, it's
as soon as that still book drop, if there's a still book that's dropping for this shit, I'm buying it. Okay,
there's been like 3 cuts in the last 5 or 6 years that have made like, pop culture legend, if you will, and that is the Snyder cut for Justice League, the whole bloody affair cut of Kill Bill, and the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever. And that's
up next.
That's what I'm saying. And funny enough, we know who has the Schumacher cut. That's all I'm gonna say. We'll talk about it off air, but we know who has that.
Oh yeah,
cut.
we know who has it.
We know who has that cut. But now that we're at a point where Snyder Cut, Whole Bloody Affair have been released publicly, like it's just such a good time to know that, like, you know what, even if you somehow get shitted on or pinned in an awkward position, there's a chance to have these still come to light, you know, and to still get a mass release as they did. So yeah, man, congratulations, Quentin. You not only did it again, I mean, 20 years ago, but like, hey, you were right. This cut proves it, dude. Studios need to fucking listen.
This ends the debate once and for all.
Yeah. God, dude. Well, Dakari, I think it's going to wrap it up this week for talking about Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. Eventually, we'll talk more Tarantino on this podcast. That's something we've been wanting to do for a while now, but I mean, we're 250 episodes deep, so eventually, who knows when when we'll get to them at that point. But stay tuned for next week, guys. We got some more good stuff coming. We're going to be finishing a few other films from 2025 before we get into our top 10 of 2025 coming soon. But next week, we are, of course, discussing Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. That is the third entry in the Knives Out series. So we'll be discussing it. We got Uncle Brian from Drink the Movies finally returning for it. So I'm really, really excited to get him back on the show. But yeah, man, do you have anything else you want to leave off for the viewers before we get out of here?
Just be on the lookout for the next short film written and directed by yours truly.
There you go. Hell yeah, dude. Only the best here at Galaxy of Film. For our listeners, thank you so much for, like I mentioned before, sticking it through us with everything. Thank you guys for 5 years. Happy 2026. Very, very excited for you guys to see all the great things we have in store this year, because it's truly a lot. Like, more than anything we've had prepped up, 2026 is going to be a big year for us. Can't wait. If you enjoy the show, please consider leaving us an iTunes or Spotify review, or go ahead and subscribe on YouTube as well. It truly does help out the show much more than you can imagine. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Peace.
You can find all our other podcast, original films, articles, and music on our website, galaxyofilm.com. We're also on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and you can join our Patreon for exclusive content and our Facebook fan club for early access to our films.